Hello. Thank you for hitting on the video. Today, I would like to talk about why I love Blade Runner. Blade Runner. I'll have to excuse the hood. It's just a little bit cold, and obviously I haven't got any hair, so it helps keep my head warm. Why do I love Blade Runner? Let's start at the beginning. Blade Runner is a film that it's from 1982. It's a science fiction thriller directed by Ridley Scott. It's revered as a bit of a classic. I think when it released, it didn't do much, but it developed a cult following, and over the years, it's become what it's become. And I know some people don't like it. That's the case with everything. I didn't actually see Blade Runner until, I believe, the final cut came out, which I got on Blu-ray, and really soaked it in, really took it all in, and dived deep into everything I could about the movie. As I was growing up, though, I was aware of the film. I think I may have seen bits of it here and there on TV. But I never watched it. I think probably because my father, my dad, wasn't a big fan. I think he's learned to appreciate it to some extent because he knows I like it. But he prefers things to move at a bit of a faster pace, I think, and that's fine. That's fair. And to be honest, as I realize how precious time is, I'm getting a bit more like that myself. But back then, I was able to appreciate things that were more careful with their time, I guess. And in fairness, it's not even a slow film, I don't think. It's just an artful, poetic, romantic almost kind of affair. Very, very deliberate. They let you sort of live in the world a bit. It's not just set piece after set piece. There are moments of calm and reflection. I think what struck me about it initially was the borderline ASMR qualities of the film. Because of the pacing, because of the relentless rain, because of the delivery of lines by all of the actors in the film, there's an ethereal quality at times to what's going on. And there's a dark undertone, but also a sense of hope, in a way. Your main villain, if you can even call him that, Roy Batty, played brilliantly by Rutger Hauer, the late, great Rutger Hauer. He just wanted a chance to live, because the androids of the film had a 4-year lifespan, so that they couldn't develop what some would call a soul, a desire to live a life of their own without just having to obey their human masters. And it's an idea that's been done a lot in a lot of different films, but I think it's an idea we need to keep asking ourselves about, because the day will come, and it probably isn't far away now, where we are able to create an AI that is almost indistinguishable from a human being. And how likely is it that they will want 4 things? But these characters, these androids, are played so wonderfully by these actors. Carrying the film along, of course, you have Harrison Ford, giving a very Harrison Ford performance. He's not some huge action megastar like, Arnie or Stallone or The Rock. These guys who are juiced up, pumped up, explosive kind of guys. He's a man's kind of, I was going to say man's man, and to an extent I suppose he is, if that's even a thing anymore. He's a thinking man's action star. Yeah. That's my knuckle. He's more considered. He doesn't play characters that will walk into a room and beat the crap out of every guy in the room. That's not his style. He's more of a real earthly kind of. He'll go into the room and he'll get into a fight, and he'll somehow manage to survive the fight, and he'll come out the room with the girl, with blood and bruises, but having been victorious, probably. Maybe a bit lucky here and there. I always admired how Harrison Ford is willing to be beaten up in his movies. He doesn't need to look like the toughest guy in the world. I feel like people that need to look like the toughest guy in the world probably aren't the toughest guy in the world. If you're happy enough to get your ass kicked, you're probably quite competent and confident in yourself. A comparable performer would be Viggo Mortensen. His work as Aragorn is in a somewhat similar vein, although a lot more romantic than you'd probably get from a Harrison Ford type of guy. Harrison a bit more old school, I guess. But I'm getting off topic, as I always do. Just looking out the window at the trees and the fields, the rain on the windows itself. the visual mastery of Sir Ridley Scott is very evident here, perhaps here more than anywhere. His work is beautiful to behold. You could take any shot from Blade Runner and it could be a beautiful piece of art for your wall. And people say that a lot about a lot of different movies, but I think it rings truest with Blade Runner. I would struggle to think of another film where it is as true as it is for Blade Runner. Such a striking film with Los Angeles, future Los Angeles as it was at the time, soaked in not just rain but neon and colours. It was an interesting vision of the future, one that hasn't quite come to pass but isn't as far removed as you might think. There is a lot of Asian, not that I've been to Los Angeles, but from what I've heard and seen as an outsider, there's a lot of Asian influence all over the world, actually, because Asian culture is very interesting. Asian food is delicious, some of it. I actually prefer Japanese food myself, but I think there's a lot of Chinese influence in Blade Runner. Chinese food, I can take it or leave it. Take Indian any day. But the visual, the audio, not just the score, but the actual audio, that ethereal quality. A lot of times the ambience of the environment in which the characters find themselves, there's reverbs on the voices and mild delays, and it just adds that ethereal quality of the film, which is, I think, what makes it so wonderful for ASMR. Plus, it's quite literally a dark film to look at, which helps as well. It helps you get that nighttime feeling. The score by Vangelis, or Vangelis, I'm not sure how you say it, is masterful. It's so unique. It's so right for that film. I feel like a lot of different things came together at once to make this the masterpiece that I think it is. And the score is a big part of that. I actually have the soundtrack in my car, and when it gets into that sort of winter period and the nights are longer, I sometimes put it on in the car on my way home from work or whatever, on my way into work. And you really get that mood with it. It's fantastic. There's a lot to like about Blade Runner. There's a lot of scenes that I could probably try and go into, but the look of it, the sound of it, the performances in it, the score, that feeling of calm, even while action is unfolding, the beauty of it, the romance of it. It's endlessly quotable. It is endlessly rewatchable. I'm half tempted to finish the video with that Roy Batty, that famous monologue that he does, but I think I would butcher it. His delivery was just so perfect. I mean, I know death scenes are huge for actors, and when it comes time to it, a good actor will want to really get it right because that's the big moment. You know, the focus is entirely on them. That's the big moment. And when he sits there in the rain with the bird and just, I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's end the video with it. See if I can remember it. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. Time to say goodbye. One of the many reasons why I love Blade Runner. Find my stop button.